Hello everybody, my name is Susan Tapley and I am a designer with Chalk Couture, and I try to go live all the time. Usually I try to go every weekday, but lately, oh my gosh, I don't know, I've been in a crazy time and been really busy, so I haven't made it every single night as much as I want to, so apologize for that. But tonight I have a really fun project to share with you. It is going to be my very last winter project for the season. We are expecting a big snowstorm tomorrow night, and I don't know, let's just honor it with a fun snowy project. I forgot to turn my lights on here. And after that, we're going to be moving on and working on some cool spring designs that I just got in. I'm going to go live tomorrow, hopefully, and show you all of the new things that are coming in our spring summer catalog, which goes live on Tuesday. So we're real excited about that. So let me get my camera all set up here. I thought it was. And we will get working on this fun project. Make sure I got everything where I need it. And there we go. Gosh. Okay, now I've got it. If I could move that. Hold on one second. Let me just fix that. There we go. Okay, now you can see my project and me as I'm talking. So if you have any questions while I'm working, please feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. So while you're watching, even if you're watching this on replay, be sure to hit that SHARE tab on your computer or your mobile device, no matter what you're using, so that other people can see what Chalk Couture is all about, learn about these products and how much fun and how easy they are to work with. So thank you for, we call it sprinkling in our industry, so thank you for sprinkling my video. I really do appreciate it. I'm just checking my computer, see if anybody's watching yet. Looks like everybody's having dinner, but I'm going to go along with this anyway. So I'm always coming back in to check your questions, so feel free to ask as I'm working along. So today I am working on a newer surface by Chalk Couture. This is called a double-sided box frame. It's pretty thick. It's a little more than an inch thick, and it's painted white on this part of the surface. If you flip it over, you have a stained surface. So you can design on both sides. You can do a winter design on one side, and then you can do a spring design on the other side, whatever you want. This is also really nice if you want to put it on the table and you want to be able to see both sides. So our box frames are pretty cool, and these come, I think, in 4 different sizes. So today we're going to start working on the white side, and we're going to build a snowman out of this, believe it or not. This is going to be the body of the snowman. So I'm going to be using 2 different transfers tonight, both of which are retired. You might already have them if you've been watching for a while, but if you don't have exactly what I'm using, improvise. And I'll show you a little bit more about how I would do that in just a minute. So if you are just hopping in, be sure to say hello. I'm glad to see that you're here. So what I'm going to be using is the Let It Snowman transfer, which was available last winter. If you love this transfer as much as I do, I've used this so many times and would like one of your own, please let me know. I have 2 or 3 of them in my local studio. Unfortunately, they're sold out on my website. I'm also going to be using some snowflakes from the Snowflake Medley, also sold out. So that's where you're might need to improvise a little bit. So we're going to get started. So I'm going to be using the white side, excuse me, of our box frame, and I'm going to put a big snowflake right in the middle, right about there. So I'm just going to remove the snowflake from the carrier sheet. I haven't written on the back of this one. I feel like I've used it before, but I'm just going to write large snowflake on the back of it. Oops. So that I remember after I've used the transfer, I can wash it, dry it, put it back on this carrier sheet to keep it safe. And I remember not to put it on the back side of the paper, because the side that you want to attach it to is the silky side right here. Our transfers are very sticky, and if you stick it to the dull side of it, it might stick tight and it's hard to get off. So try to put that remember to write on the back so that you won't remember to stick it to the wrong side. So I'm just going to pop this right in the middle of my box frame. That looks about right. And I'm going to take a small squeegee and just kind of starting in the center, just sort of spread. I'm putting a little bit of pressure on the transfer so that you get rid of all of the bumps and bubbles that may be underneath it. If you have those things, especially around the edges of the white area showing through here, you can get a bleed. And that's not the worst thing in the world that could happen, for sure, but it's always nice to avoid them. I'm not using a stencil at all. A lot of people are confused about what these are. They are not stencils, they are silk screen transfers. And anywhere that you see white shining through this teal transfer, there's a screen there which allows you much more detail than you'd ever get with a stencil. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see better if I can. No, I guess it's not going to. All right, well, I will be holding this up for you so you can see it a little bit better later. So I'm going to be using Storm on this snowflake. I don't want it to be too bright, keeping it kind of subtle here. And before I went live, I went in and I stirred all of my chalk paste up. You want them to be about the consistency of cake batter. However, if they feel thicker than that, more like a brownie batter, spray a little bit of distilled water in and stir. I use stir sticks that look like this. I also sell some teal colored ones on my website, which is listed right below here. If you don't have them and you're in a pinch, you can use like the long end of a plastic fork or a knife and just stir it up really well till it's nice and smooth, and you get most of those bumps out, lumps and bumps. So I'm going to scoop some of that chalk paste off, and if you are brand new at chalking, use more than you actually think you need. Got it on my hand already. So you're just going to spread it all over the design and cover the areas where the silk screen is. So what I'm doing is I'm actually pushing this chalk paste through the screen. This isn't paint at all, it is chalk. It goes on wet and it dries hard in a matter of minutes. Now because I'm using this on a porous surface like wood, I will not be able to wash this off nicely. You could try, but it'll probably get messy. But if you're using it on a non-porous surface like a chalkboard, metal, glass, windows, any of those things that are non-porous, it will wash right off. It's awesome. Nice if you want to change your designs up. So what I'm doing next is I'm scooping up all that extra chalk paste that I left on there and I'm putting it right back in the jar to use for another project. So there's no waste at all. So just scoop that all off. When you have it well squeegeed off, you are going to see the design right through it. The only exception to this is if you are using the color teal. It's exactly the same as our transfer, so it's really hard to tell. So while it's still wet, you're going to peel that transfer off like so. And this is the fun part, the peel and reveal. How sweet that is. All right. So what I could do next is I could dry this with my heat tool or hair dryer, but you don't have to. I'm just going to let this one air dry while we work on the next part of this project. So far so good? Be sure to say hello and hit that S-H-A-R-E button while you're watching. Thanks so much. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make a head for this little cute snowman. And I cut this out this afternoon. It's really just did it. So here's our head that we're going to use. And I also cut out a carrot nose. And we're going to be using the other transfer, the Let It Snowman transfer, to decorate these. It doesn't look real cute right now, but I think it will in a few minutes. So I'm just going to put this part aside for now. I'm going to move my website. Let me know if you need to see that again later. It's also in the description of this casting. So here's my head, and I'm going to use the snowball head from the Let It Snowman. It's sort of a rustic looking white circle that'll be perfect for our snowball face. So I'm going to peel this off the transfer. I've used this before, so it's pretty, it's been used, so it's not as sticky as it might have been once upon a time. I'm just going to try to feel it to see if I'm approximately even around the edges all the way around. I made this wood so that it almost has a neck. So we're going to need a neck to attach it, right? Okay, so that's done nice and smooth. And I'm going to be using white. It's called Bright White. And I'm also going to be using a gray called Fresh Linen. It's a very light gray, just to give it some dimension all around the edges. These I've also gone in and stirred before we got started tonight. I know you guys don't want to sit around watching me stir paste all night, right? All right, here we go. I'm going to grab a scoop of that white, and spread it all over. I've got a big chunk of white here, and we're just going to start in the middle, especially if you have a big open area like this. Start in the middle and just start spreading to the edges, just like so. So I'm going to go just a little bit before I hit the edge so that I can put some gray in there. And that will make, that'll give it more of a 3D look too. Looks like I went a little too far in that one side. I forgot I was going to do this. No big deal. All right, so again, I'm going to go in and scoop that off. This is going to be kind of an antique-y looking snowman, I think. Cleaning it off, you want a nice thin layer. And try to get rid of all those lines if you can too. All right, now we're going to go in with our gray. And again, this is called fresh linen. If you don't have fresh linen, use what you have. You could even do this in blue or darker gray. It would be really nice either way. So I'm going to go in and go all the way around the edges with this. Gotta work quickly because I don't want that white to dry before I pull up my transfer. Gotta keep it nice and wet. One more section. That ought to do it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my finger in a second, and I'm going to do kind of an ombre effect all the way around the edges of this. And to do that, we're going to spray your fingertip just a little bit, tap it off on a paper towel, and then just go in and do little tiny swirls all the way around where you want the two colors to blend together. This looks really, really cool if you do it in rainbow colors, really any color, but we're trying to get a rustic look with this. So hopefully this will do the trick. Okay, that was easy. Now I'm just going to pull it off like so, and there's our cute little snowman face. So the next thing I want to do is put some accents on his face. So I'm going to dry this with my dryer. And again, I use a heat tool to do this. You can also use a hair dryer or just let it sit around and air dry like we did with the first part of our project. So here we go. This dries really, really, really quickly if you let it just sit. This would be done, because it's such a large area, I would give it 5 or 10 minutes. If you have a hair dryer, like I said, go in there and just dry it just like I'm doing with this. The heat tools have a very high heat, so you want to keep them moving. It's almost done. All right, so as I said, this is going to be a little bit rustic looking, so I'm going to see if I can pull this in close so you can see it. There's just a little bit of color around the edges. Get that light going here. Let's see if that works. There, maybe that's a little bit better. But you can see it almost looks like it's shaded all the way around the edges. Okay? All right, I'm going to let that set for just a second, and we're going to work on the nose piece, which is going to go right about there next. So here is the little nose transfer. Making a mess here. And I'm going to apply this just like I did before right on the nose. So you can lay this on top of a light box or hold it up to a window to make sure that it's, you know, pretty well centered on your piece. I can also hold it up to a light, and that looks pretty darn good. I'm going to go with that. So this I am going to chalk in a color that I love called papaya. We also have a brighter orange called orange peel, but this one is just a little bit more sophisticated and old-fashioned looking, I guess. And I love the rustic look of it. So I'm going to grab another tiny squeegee. This is a mini squeegee, and some paste. And let's just do a quick chalk of this nose. Look how quick this is. If you're watching, tell me if you've chalked before, if you've ever used Chalk Couture products. All right, let's peel that off, just like that. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I had to paint that by hand, it would never happen that quickly. Never, ever. So there's our little nose. I don't know why my camera won't zoom in today. This happens to me the other day too. So sorry about that. So there's our nose, and our face should be ready for the details next. Let's see how that's gonna look. Super cute. Okay, so I have eyes right here, and I also have a smile. Now, one thing to note is that if you don't have these pieces, the mouth, the nose, you can do this with a little bit of paint too if you don't have the transfers, but I love using the transfers. I think what I'll do is put the eyes on first. I'm going to kind of figure out where I'm going to put the nose and put the eyes kind of at the same angle. So right about here. Oops, I moved it. Let's see. I kind of like that little sideways glance of his. All right, so I'm just going to rub down just barely with my finger because I'm pasting over paste that's already on there. You want to be careful not to put too much pressure on your transfer, or you could actually help pull the chalk paste up that you did first when you pulled this transfer up. So just something you want to be aware of. So I'm going in with a little bit of my black velvet chalk paste. Give him those charcoal eyes. Ta-da! That was easy. And I'm going to dry that for a second. That'll just take a sec. Dry that a little bit. When you're drying your paste, you can actually see it dry. It's the strangest thing. It goes from being very, very shiny to very, very dull really, really quickly. All right. Oh my gosh. By the way, you guys, if you have hit that SHARE button on your computer or your mobile device, please write share in the I said it. Please write that word in the comments so that I can enter you to win some happy mail. I didn't say meal. I always say happy meals by mistake. Okay, so next comes the smile. And my nose is going to be about there. So I'm going to put this right about here. Okay. So nice and easy with that placement, and don't rub down too hard. Okay, skipping up some black, and we'll go over these little dots. I have made so many projects with this transfer, and I'm sure that if you own it, you probably have to or would love to if you haven't already. It's just really fun to use. I've made signs with everything from this collection. We've used it on our farm stand signs. If you've seen that, if you haven't seen that, take a look. Just search farm sign in the search part of my group, and you will see how cute we've done with that, the farm stand sign. This month we updated it with snowflakes and a snowman. It's actually behind me. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, here's how it's going to look so far. I want to add a little bit more. I think I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle on his cheeks. So let's chalk. Actually, I think I'm going to go in first with some blush. This is just from my makeup bag. Kadena, hello girl. Nice of you to join me. Okay, I'm just going to use a little bit of powder from my makeup container and pink up his cheeks a little bit. Because why not, huh? Kind of blend that in. It might be better if I blend it with my finger. Yeah, it seems to work better with my finger. A little more right here. Kadena, are you expecting snow? We're supposed to get hammered. We'll see. We shall see. Okay, that looks pretty cute. We're going to take it a little bit further. Let me hold that up for you so far. There he is with his nose. So I'm going to take this little tiny snowflake right here, and I'm going to put one of those on each of his cheeks too. I think that'll look super cute. So I'm going to go find where that blush is. Try to avoid his mouth area. Rub that down nice and gentle. And I'm going to go back in with that fresh linen again. Again, this is barely gray. It's brighter than white, as you can probably see, but it's not like crazy in your face gray. I just want it to be a little bit subtle. Get some of that. Spread it over that snowflake. And we're going to pull this off quickly and move it to the other side. If you're going to use your transfer more than once, you have to do it quickly or you need to wash in between. This is just adding a tiny little something to him. Trying to avoid his mouth. I think that's good. And let's avoid the other snowflake that I just did too, because it's wet. Okay. All right. Paste it quickly. And pull it off. And it's done. Okay. So let me give that a quick dry. Where did that come from? It doesn't look like it goes on that jar, but it's going to for now. So we're going to dry this for a second. Those snowflakes will just take a minute. It's a very, very slight accent. I think it's really adorable. Most of this one's going to be hidden behind his nose. Hi, Shazan. No snow? Oh, you want some snow? It's really beautiful when it's first snowing. After that, I'm like, okay, bye-bye. Oh, this is so darling. Look how cute he looks. All right, so I'm going to get my glue gun out. And, oops. I hate those little strings that it leaves. Just going to put a bit of glue down the nose. And find a happy spot for that, right about here. Yeah, most of the snowflake on the other side got covered. That's all right. Okay, so what else does a snowman need? He needs some earmuffs, and he needs a headband to keep that held on. So, guys, I got my dirty wire out. I don't know if you've ever used this with me before, but it is dirty wire. I don't actually know what to call it. It's called 16 gauge dark annealed wire that I picked up at the hardware store, and it's adorable to use on your projects, but my hands get black from this. So I'm going to cut a piece of this off. Let me put my glue back. And I have wire cutters with me because you can't cut this with scissors. No way, no how. So now we'll just work with this little piece. Don't forget to remind me to wash my hands. These are filthy. So what I'm planning to do, I want this to be a little bit curly. So I'm going to kind of twist it around my tool here. You can also use a pencil or a pen or whatever you got. We'll get everything it touches dirty. A little bit more here. It doesn't have to be perfect. You actually kind of want it to look wonky. That's the word. Yep, I'll send you some snow, Kadena. You can have it. Okay. All right, we've got our curly cues. If I can get it off. Got it. Okay. All right. I love it like this. I want one more little twisty up here though. Let's see if we can do it on my paintbrush. So I'm just twisting it around and around in a wonky way. Okay, I'm going to curl those in. I did put little tiny holes on the sides of my snowman, anticipating that I wanted to do this. So I'm going to get some glue. Yikes. This stuff is just so dirty. Okay, so I have a little hole right here. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue in there to hold the wire, hopefully, and stick the wire in. Then I'll do the same on the other side. Then we'll make some adjustments. Oh, thanks, Leslie. I think you have this transfer. Okay, so I'm going to try to work this a little bit so it's not all over the place. That's pretty good. And then I'm going to put my little pom-poms at the ends too, so he's got earmuffs. And of course we're going to give him a scarf too, right? Okay, get my little pom-pom on there. Or his little earmuff, I should say. And I'll put one over here as well. I used blue because the fabric that I had for a scarf is also blue. So I think this will be super cute. He looks really kind of like a rustic snowman. I'm going to hold him up a little bit closer for you guys to see. And then we're going to clean up my hands for just a second before I try to put this all together because it'll be a mess. Give me a second to grab my wipes. This dirty wire, I'm not kidding. I think some of you have used it with me. It is dirty. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take our box that we did earlier with the snowflake on it. And I was going to tell you about improvising, you guys. You can use any transfer on this. Look at what you could do. Get this one. You could put a little Valentine in there if you wanted to. Look how adorable that would look. How cute. Okay, well we're going to do the snowflake for today. But we're going to put a scarf on it in just a second. I'm going to get some glue on the back, on the bottom of my snowman. I feel like my glue isn't squirting nicely tonight. What in the world? Well, that doesn't seem good. There we go. I got some. Okay. I'm going to put this, I'm going to hold this up for a second. I know you guys are not going to be able to see it very well, but I'm going to put this right in the center and hold that down for a second. Just keeps getting cuter. Really, really does. Look. Okay, so here's where the cute stuff happens. I've got a bunch of polar fleece. If you don't have polar fleece, you can use an old scarf or a flannel shirt that you don't wear anymore. Whatever you got. And you're going to cut a strip of fabric from it. I'm going to stick my glue gun back over here for now, so I don't burn anything down. I don't remember why I bought this, but I have this beautiful piece of, it's called polar fleece. So I'm just going to cut a strip of this. I made it maybe 1.5 inches wide and maybe 2.5 feet long. You don't need a pattern or anything, just cut. Do it by eye. Like so. Straighten this up a little bit here and here. Sorry. And what you're going to do is to take your scissors and cut, you're going to cut like fringe. Just cut straight down. Some cute fringies. You could do this after. Might even help if you're not sure how long you want it. But we're going to take this and wrap it around Snowman's neck. See, that's why we made a neck. And what I'd like to do is kind of tie it off to the side a little bit. We'll just tie a little knot. Like so. And you have yourself an adorable snowman, and you don't even have to go out in the cold. How's that? He's so cute. I think I'm gonna shorten this one a little bit because it's covering up the snowflake. Just recut a little bit. There we go. There he is. What do you think? Isn't that adorable? Okay, that is it. I hope you enjoyed my very last winter project for the year. Well, I might do some more in December, but for the season. Like I said, I have my brand new catalog launch in 2 days. So tomorrow, we're not going to do a project, but we are going to go live and open the box. I think I may have told you I bought 4 of the transfers that are coming out in 2 days. The reason I didn't buy the other 4 were because they were very specifically Canadian, and I just didn't think I'd be able to use it. So we're going to be working on some really, really fun projects. I've got workshops in my mind. If you are local to me and would like to come and chalk with me, I would love to see you there. What else? My sale. Oh my gosh, if you are in my VIP group, since I'm public with this video, I cannot say publicly, but I can say that there are a lot of things you want that are in my sale right now. So put VIP in the comments if you are not a member of my VIP group, and I will get you right in there so you can take a look at that sale, because there's some really, really good stuff and great prices. So that ends at 11:59 tonight, so be there or be square. And a bundle of this, yeah, I can do that. Let me see what I can put together, Leslie, and I'll get back to you. If anybody else is interested in this as a bundle, I do have the Snowman, Let It Snowman transfer set. I have a few of the box frames, and I can make cutouts and give you dirty wire, all that good stuff. So just let me know what you would like, okay? So, all right, anything else? Let's see. The last couple nights I've been doing Chalk Couture projects. Guys, look how sweet that heart is hanging on the globe. Can you see that? We did that. We've done a couple of our club transfers, and it's getting better and better. So you guys be sure that you're on there. You get reduced price, flat rate shipping, $4.95. What a good deal. And specials all the time, free shipping on your club. You get catalogs, you get me. We have a lot of fun. All right, that's all I have for you tonight. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Watch out for that snow tomorrow. Kadena, I'll be sending you some if I could. You're always welcome to come visit. We'll mask up and everything. Oh, you guys, do I have any more questions? Did I miss anybody? So, knows no. I guess that's good. Charlene, I miss it too. Our crop on the Cape, yes. Sometimes we go scrapbooking on the Cape together, but we are so restricted to what we can do there and how many people I can have. I just don't know if it's going to happen this spring again. I'm sorry. Okay, that is all I got for you tonight. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, we're going to open that box. 5 o'clock maybe? Hopefully. I don't know. I can't seem to get my times very well lately, but I'll try. It is. It's so much fun. Come on down. All right. You guys have a wonderful night. I'll see you again soon. By the way, if you like what I do, would like to get paid to craft like I do, the best job in the world. I love it. Let me know, and I'll get you some information. Have a great night. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.